Now, for the first podcast, welcome to the Bread Aisle. I got my boy here, Ryan, also known as Sir Swifty.
What's going on, everybody?
All right. So if you want to plug in, your Instagram and talk about some things that you do in general outside of crypto, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so Sir Swifty here. Happy to be the first person on the podcast. Appreciate that. What I really like to do outside of crypto is racing. I like building cars, and that's an expensive hobby, so you got to find a way to kind of fund that. So crypto saved my life, turned me into an F1 driver. Let's go.
So how I met Swifty was he was kind of the gateway drug to me getting into my degen lifestyle, I would say. Because I didn't know anything about, swapping, using DeFi, using Uniswap, and kind of messing with
I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah.
How did we actually meet?
Well, we actually met through your ex-girlfriend?
Yep.
And then through going and doing
the movie.
The movie, yeah.
We were in a movie together.
I don't remember the name of that movie.
I'm on IMDb, guys.
I was like blurred out. I was barely seen on that shit. But that's how we first met. And then one day he's in the shop and we're just talking, and then somehow crypto gets brought up, and at that point I'm kind of like a utility snob. So when he's bringing up Shiba to me, I just wasn't really hip to it. I was kind of actually probably not happy about him talking about a meme coin. And then once that whole lifestyle kind of got brought to me, it opened up a whole new world. And made me a
whole new world.
I thought it was pretty awesome because that's when he started showing me how to use the chain and how to use a wallet and everything like that. And I thought that was very interesting. But all in all, too, there's a whole story of the lore of Shiba, in my opinion, that I think he's somewhat close to, or what I believe is close to. His name's Ryan. There's Ryoshi. I don't know, Shitoshi,
We are Ryoshi.
Yeah, so I believe that he's closer to the developer than most people, in my opinion, or close to the creation, the beginning saga of Shiba. So I would like to dig deeper into that story maybe and see kind of how you got, first came into crypto, learn about how you did that. I know you were successful within that, year of the bull run as well. You did well. And maybe how you found Shiba.
Cool. So that was wild, man. That first year in crypto, 2020, 2021. It is an emotional roller coaster. But how I got into crypto was through Russ Davis. In Russ We Trust. A lot of people know him. What's up, Russ?
Hopefully we could I can maybe get him on here at some point.
We could definitely get him in here for you. But so we were in just a chat online every time, the lottery got up above some crazy millions of dollars. Everybody would throw money into the pool, and if there was a win, everybody that threw in got to win. So, some of that.
What lottery?
So I want to say it was it's Connecticut lottery, and I want to say it was Mega Millions, Powerball.
Okay.
So it was just this pool, hey, it's 100 million, everybody throw in $20, take a picture of your ticket, post it in this Facebook group. By posting it, you agree to share your winnings with everybody else that's shared theirs. And, Russ was kind of getting that going and keeping that together. And then it was around the time of COVID came out, and or that virus, that thing that shut down the world. And he said, hey, there's this crazy new crypto out there. He goes, instead of throwing money into your into the Powerball this month, why don't we take our stimulus check, some of that money and throw it into this crypto? And everybody's like, he gave this long, 13, 15 step how to buy thing, and everybody in that chat's like, I have no clue how to work all this, get money on Coinbase, connect your bank account, KYC, set up your Coinbase wallet, seed phrase, 12 random ass words, send this here, do this there, wait for it to get approved, right? So everybody's like, I don't know how to do it. So, people just kind of sent him money and a wing and a prayer that they would get some type of cryptocurrency back in their wallet. And, I said I'm into cars and racing, but, I went to college for business administration, economics, and accounting. So one of the things that I thought was really interesting about all this as it got started was, everything's tracked on the blockchain. So you could go back and look at people's wallets and see what they're doing. You can, track who's holding what and, just the flow of money around the world. So, that's really what got me into Shiba, was going from this like lottery pool group into, just throwing some of that free stimmy money in. And, right then and there, everything just started going crazy. And then everybody was talking to their grandmas at, the next meeting, so telling everybody to throw their life savings in, and all this, everybody started having the stimmy checks. So everybody started throwing money. It just blew up out of nowhere, and, it would go up, it would go down, it would go all around. And it was pretty, that was just one phase of the Shiba.
I could remember when you were telling me about it, you came into the shop or whatever, and I was like kind of like fading it. I wasn't really going with what you were saying because I was thinking of Doge, and I was just kind of like, whatever, it's a meme coin. And you keep on talking about it, and I would keep on every day to work in general. I was listening to crypto, whatever, altcoin daily, all these different, Lark Davis, whoever, BitBoy. And so then Shiba started popping up, I think, in the algorithm. And then I'm just like, all right, maybe he's onto something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what the hell this is. Because now everybody's talking about it. And then next thing I know, I think it was within like days of you telling me too, Crypto.com says it's selling Shiba. And I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? So then I'm like, all right, well, if this is happening, I got to buy it. And I didn't know how to swap anyway. So I was like, I'm just going to start dollar cost averaging into this anyways. And every time.
Crypto.com.
Yeah. And I was.
Great app. Great credit card.
I was buying a lot. And I'm still holding. And so what always gets me, though, is when you created the group on Facebook and then, pulled everybody in, whatever. But like the one part that always sticks out to me is how you said you were kind of like invited to like a special party.
Oh, the party. The
Shiba party, it sounded like. And I know BitBoy tried to kind of unravel or dox one like Ryoshi or Shito. He came up with somebody, and he was tying that into like somebody connected to like FTX and stuff. And when I'm hearing him talk about it, I know my stories from connected to you and hearing how like kind of where you started with it and how early on you kind of were around it, in my opinion, and telling myself, I don't really think he's on point with his structure of, what he thinks is, who he thinks is Shitoshi or Ryoshi. So yeah, how'd you get invited to that party? And I just think that's like the early development. To my opinion, from when you talk about that story, I really believe that's like earlier than whatever BitBoy was kind of going on about.
Yeah, before it became mainstream, it was like, getting in early.
Super
early. I'm curious, and the other day when we
like real quick, what market cap did you hear about Shiba?
When I got into this, I didn't even know what a market cap was.
So you don't even know where it was
right?
at.
It was just like the date was like February 2020, like right around there, March.
Could look that
and
up.
So, the other day when you asked me to come on here and said you wanted to talk about the Shiba days, I was like, you know what? I'm curious what number holder I even was, and I wanted to go back and look at it, but I didn't. So I'm curious, like, where did I actually jump in the line in this? But about all that. So one of the hardest things when you're getting into something new, especially with technology, is how to use the technology, right? So, everybody was like, oh, I like it. I see it's going up. And how do I buy? How do I buy? Which, was the hardest thing. So instead of telling everybody I know, we started the print shop, and in Rust We Trust Crypto had the original Shiba Facebook group. And, because I was good with Facebook, because I was good at helping people do these transactions, because I helped somebody, they made me one of the mods for the group. And I'm pretty sure Shitoshi and everybody was actually in that group kind of overlooking, and just nobody knew exactly who he was. It was gnarly. Like, that's gnarly to be able to stay under the radar that far and for so long. Like, who is Ryoshi? Who is Satoshi? And people were like really looking at it. But so, you know,
it had a lot of tie-in to like the concept of Bitcoin and, you know,
yeah,
Satoshi. And
yeah.
that's why it was cool the way it was. And that's why I know when you talk about the story, I'm like, you were in like the Shiba cyberpunk section of that. And that's why I want to keep on going.
Yeah. So, you know, I got asked to help be one of the mods for the group. And, you know, really we were just posting charts, instructions how to buy. You know, I had made videos and stuff. So we were putting together videos, helping people, you know, making sure there weren't like scammers getting into the group. So, you know, I got asked to be a mod. And then, you know, one day we got invited to a mod party. And there was probably 30 or so people, you know, at this party in Milford. And there's a photo of all of us on the beach. And I mean, they were just starting to make the shirts using the homemade press and everything to get the branding out. But it was like, that was like the first big like run up. Like it was, let's see, I'm trying to think of what I put in and what I remember seeing. So it was a 2000X, right? Mm. So put in part of my stimulus check, not the whole thing. Like I wanted to keep some of the money, you know, conservative usually with my money, even though, you know, so I can be expensive in my hobbies. But I remember seeing it like run up 2,000 times what I had put in. It was like, this is crazy. But at that party, it was like the first big run up. Everybody was celebrating that night. It tanked, right? And that's that roller coaster of emotions that comes with crypto. And, you know, I learned it from Richard Hart, right? You know, somebody can't make money unless somebody's really losing money. And, you know, so I went through those waves of emotion. Do I keep it? Do I sell? Is it over? Is it coming back? Right. So, yeah, I just remember it being such a wild ride. Eventually, you know, through that group, you know, In Rust We Trust was born. And, you know, then that's how I found out about Hex, Richard Hart. What else did we find out? Chainlink, you know, $6, you know, even probably $2-3 when, you know, we first started hearing about it. Bazoge, Emacs, which is like one of the craziest stories out there. Live in Miami, that whole.
And Emacs was Connecticut people as well, though, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, you could look it up online and you could see who's, you know, involved. You know, there's some like court cases and stuff with that as well that are out there. But
that's why I connect a lot of things in general from like the stories of Shiba and stuff like that. And I'm just like, there's too many, I don't know, close scenarios within Connecticut in general, also maybe possibly developing specific coins.
Yeah, because when Shiba came out, I mean, all you really heard about was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge.
Pretty much. And Shiba was that next, like, you know, blue chip in a sense.
And there was people there at the party that like were saying, hey, you know, I went to school at like MIT. Where's Gary Gensler? Where's, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried? You know, like they're at MIT, right? So like, you know, that Satoshi or Ryoshi was probably at that party.
You were standing right next to him. I
probably shook his hand, you know, probably shook their hand.
Dapped him up. Yeah, so I've always, I don't know, I love that story for some reason. To me, the beginning of that. So then you also brought up Hex and everything. Would you say that, actually go back a little bit. So within Shiba's ecosystem, do you still believe in the system of Shiba?
Yeah, so to see the amount, you know, so they say, you know, you need an idea and you need people around it and you need attention. Like aside from, you know, it's just crazy the amount of people that Shiba brought into crypto, and that ecosystem as a whole seems to be, you know, going from meme to utility. You know, as far as you got the Shiba token, the original one, you got Bone, you got Leash, which gets you kind of like the VIP access. There, treats out now. And now it's becoming this whole ecosystem, like a lot of like Ethereum itself was, right?
Yeah.
So do I believe in it? Yeah, especially like what is it? The UAE was putting some stuff on Shibarium they were just talking about. But just the amount of people in the there's so many people that was their first experience in crypto, and that was such a great, and I'm sure there's equally as many people that had a bad experience, but the amount you hear from people like Your Pop, Hennick, like all these people grew up through Shiba, so I don't see it going anywhere, just as where it is and how it's established.
No, I 100% feel the same way. That's why I wanted to have the story anyways, because one, like you don't really hear anybody talking about Shiba as much anymore. I think a lot of people kind of like, you got Pepe coming out, like all these other ones. People are kind of quiet on Pepe now as well, and Pepe did, pretty amazing numbers too.
People are so ADD. It's all like, doom, 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 doom. What's next? What's next? What's next? Everybody's trying to get in early, but that's not always
the best.
That could get you wrecked.
Yeah, no, and I think Shiba is going to have another run, and I do personally also believe in the ecosystem. When you even showed me Leash, like I think Leash is, in my opinion, out of all those, maybe the better choice, as not financial advice, but as in like maybe as far as investment goes, like paying attention to investment. Or Bone. I didn't even know Treat was out. And then the fact that they started doing K9, I thought was pretty smart, having a staking mechanism now within the Shibarium ecosystem.
Yeah, they've really got everything covered. I think they call it like, what is it, the 32 halls of tech.
I'm not
so
sure.
They're kind of hitting, Shaitoshi is one of his more recent posts, posted about that. But 32 might not be the correct number, but they're trying to hit like everything, looking at what's the metaverse, gaming, trying to keep, a pulse on that, even though it's a very low pulse these days. Versus last cycle, crypto gaming was the future. And it's, I still see it being a big thing, but then AI came out, right? So now you have bad AI.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Bad AI, is another really cool project that's tied in with so many Telegram groups and a lot of people are using it. So they're really staying a step ahead, or at least keeping up with everything that's going on without, there's always like a fall off when you tell your community about something new you're doing. There's always going to be those people that are trying to jump in and be that first person, to buy. So there's a little bit of fall off, but, it's still around, which is not the same as like, you look at a lot of the tokens on Solana, Pump.Fun, and it's they're getting
wrecked. They can't last. They don't even get off Pump Fun.
A couple days. Yeah, they last a couple days and they're gone, which shows you just the ADD that's it, in crypto, and the shiny object syndrome.
That right there is market psychology to a T. And it's sad because a lot of people I don't even think recognize it or don't even come to recognizing that they're just not focusing enough and maybe doing enough research on a certain project as like Shiba, and understanding that, the development team is keeping up with times. Like the fact that they're doing AI, they were doing AI actually pretty early before a lot of people were doing AI. And that's why when it kind of got brought to my attention, I was hype on it either way, and there's also like another project I'm hype on. It's like a bridge.
And that just pumped 300% or something, right?
I didn't even pay attention. It did well either way when it first came out. So I'm hype on bad AI as well, just being a part of the Shibarium ecosystem. Also, I don't know if you like, it's like a bridge. That's what they're claiming to be, is Hoichi. I posted it in the print shop before. Hoichi is like a bridge, and they're, big development within Shibarium as well. And I found that off of just like digging through Twitter and kind of trusting somebody.
The trenches.
Yeah, just going through the trenches and just being like, what's this person talking about? And then digging into it. I'm like, okay, it is actually like part of the whole Shibarium ecosystem. So looking at that one too. Also still not financial advice, just staring at that one though. So yeah, I do still like Shiba a lot, and I do still think that Shiba's got plenty more room to grow. I think a couple more bull runs in my opinion. But I like how you brought up Hex, Richard Hart. I know that you also sacrificed, right?
Yep.
And you were part of that whole, that whole thing with Richard Hart. So what do you think about Hex and that's, their development as well?
Oh man, they've had Richard Hart's had such a tough run. People hate on him so much, and it's so funny. He just put up an X post yesterday, and he's like, all you exchanges are talking about choke point 2.0. He's like, but you're gatekeeping, good projects, but listing scams, right? So like FTX and Celsius token are still on some exchange, but they won't list Pulse Chain. Why? The court case is done. He won. Like a lot of these SEC wins, they say like the cases are just like dismissed, but he like legit won the court case that they didn't have jurisdiction over him, and that people did sacrifice their money for a greater cause.
And it wasn't a little bit of money.
He raised like some crazy amount of millions for charity, and there was like I want to say $1.5 billion were
it was pretty crazy.
Were sacrificed for Pulse or Pulse X. Now everybody out there, if you hold anything on Ethereum at the time of that sacrifice phase, you're going to have Pulse copies. So really what Pulse is, right? Like the smartest thing he did was copy Ethereum, because Ethereum's was number 2. And if the SEC is going to say that Pulse is a security, that makes ETH a security. But ETH's now not a security.
No.
So therefore, he was piggybacking off, and all he did was like take it and make it a little, he made it a little faster,
cheaper supposedly as well.
Yeah. So if you're an early OG, you had Shiba, Chainlink on there, Crypto.com. If you had Crow as an ERC20, like you have these tokens on Pulse automatically, and they're worth money. USDC. If you were sitting in USDC, you have USDC on Pulse Chain sitting there, and you can go to what is it? It's like PLS scanner. I'll get you the link. I don't want to put a bad link that gets anybody wrecked out.
Yeah.
But you could literally just go on there, put in your Ethereum addresses, and it'll show you your Pulse copies and what they're worth. And they're worth, there's some that are worth hundreds of bucks for free, right?
Well, I mean, I'll just hold my copies and wait for the ecosystem to keep on picking up, because as more people start to jump in there, and let's say they're using that ecosystem and they want to buy Shiba, but they're on Pulse, once liquidity starts adding in there,
it's the bridge.
You were the ground floor of that, copy anyway. So, which I find very interesting. And then the other also interesting I find about Hex was how you said like gatekeeping and everything like that. Hex at one point in market cap was around top 10, right?
Yeah, but Coin Market Cap puts it towards the...
You didn't see it.
No.
They didn't even show it. And I always, when I was doing research in that and seeing like, looking at the market cap and then seeing when I'm looking at CoinGecko or whatever, I'm like, oh, this coin isn't even being shown. Why is that? I thought that was very interesting. And a lot of his marketing is him, but now his older marketing wasn't really that, but a lot of his marketing now was like boasting, showing off, but it got the attraction that
attention is the currency of the world,
attention economy. And it worked. And I happen to think also too, like just his whole staking mechanism within Hex, I think is very interesting. And I think more people that end up, kind of looking around for something like that and then falling upon Hex might actually agree as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got, it's basically like a crypto version of a CD, right? You put your Hex in, you promise to hold it, you get more Hex for free. And, if things ultimately over long periods of time go up, you're going to net something off of that.
Like
it has the good accounting feature where you can for tax purposes, right? And this is not financial advice, not tax advice. Talk to your tax accounting with everything regarding this, but you can reclaim your stake without actually taking the coins back. So you really, it's just sitting out there whenever you claim it to get your inflation, right? Your additional tokens, whether you sell or hold or restake. But he's big on the 555s.
And what is that?
So, his whole thing is, and I would have, even if you look at like the pulse chain prices, P-die prices, right? Like something about this 555 number comes up, but what is it? Like 5 years is the longest stake or something like that.
That's what he suggests to do.
No, that like there's like limits to how long you could
Okay.
stake. Maybe it's like 15 years, but something about the number 555 is big for him. But it's a better, it's a basically an improved version of Ethereum pulse chain. It is, none of his projects have ever been really hacked or scammed or anything like you see happening on every other chain. But for some reason, none of these major exchanges want to list him. It's because people think like he's a really big scammer. I know there's like still an Interpol red notice about him, but it's like a tax evasion and punching some kid or something like that, some teenager. But you see him on a live stream the other day with his nice like soft moisturized hands, looking like he just got a fresh pedicure. It doesn't look like somebody that just hit somebody. So we'll see what happens after that. But it's just it's amazing. And even like Mexi, you listed Pulse Chain, and we appreciate you for that. But you delisted it, and you want us to pay you again. We didn't, you didn't refund people when you delisted it. So it's my opinion you should relist Pulse Chain.
You got to fix that, Mexi.
Somebody's got to be first. I think it's going to be Kraken. Kraken's been interacting a lot, and then even Coinbase has been like, oh, if we support Pulse Chain, you'll automatically get your coins for people that post or send their tokens to the wrong address. But like, oh, if we do this in the near future, but they don't really reach out and say that.
The first mover usually is Crypto.com. Crypto.com has been pretty on point with pushing most coins, which I was kind of surprised. And
they have all these free tokens. They could literally use those to build the liquidity pools to help people trade them.
Yeah. And just Crypto.com is another one too. I like Crypto.com a lot. And also with their staking. And I'm waiting for them to come back into America if that's what, happens through them, also getting out of their troubles within the SEC or whatever.
They've been talking with Trump a lot in a lot of meetings and photos. And with Crypto.com as like your business name.
It works.
Right? Like it's
also taking over Staples.
Yep.
Staples Center. So that's
the writing's on the wall.
That's great marketing. I think they're coming back this way anyways. And I love staking my crow on Crypto.com. That's going to be another bank for me. But what was I going to say about that as well? So talking about how I think Chris was maybe at the crypto summit. I'm not really sure. I feel like he was part of that board of people that showed up. I don't think it was a nothing burger, what happened or whatever. I think a lot of people were expecting like, okay, the crypto summit happens and then price changes. I still think it was positive anyways. How do you feel that went?
So, with the crypto news events, it takes me back to Elon Doge on SNL, right? And this is like early Shiba. Shiba's going to $1 today on SNL, right? And it dumps. So like my first experience of a major event like is that, most of it is buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Hype cycle. So when this came up, I was kind of expecting, a sell the news event. But there's no denying that a president signing an executive order around cryptocurrency is not a major pivot. So everybody wants everything now, but I feel like this is the first or second flap of the wing in the butterfly effect.
The ripple.
The ripple effect.
No XRP pun intended.
Wink, nudge, nudge. But, with them mentioning, I think the biggest nothing burger of that whole thing is not like them saying anything about the rumor of removing capital gains. Cause like that would be huge for anybody in crypto. And if it's a commodity, like if I sell you a Pokemon card, right? Like, or trade you a Pokemon card for, something else, it's not the same, as buying a stock, making a ton of money. So, I feel like that would be the hugest thing. And that's if they say that, how many people are holding right now because they don't want to pay the taxes too? So would that also be a major sell the news event? It's hard to say, but there's no denying that this crypto summit being mentioned on TV, we're not selling our Bitcoin, even though if you read it, there is a way that somebody can authorize, a sale of that if it has to be. But there's no denying that this isn't a pivot. The past 6 months have just been like, holy moly.
To me, everything's been very bullish that comes out.
From Gary getting the boot, from Trump getting in to Gary getting the boot, to the court cases starting to end, the SEC relaxing, crypto banks can now custody crypto. I think I just saw.
They said that at
and
the summit, I think.
Us trying to be a superpower. I think it's huge. I think Michael Saylor was a little pissed.
That could be always twisted. They said he was flicking off the Winkle, whatever, the twins, the Gemini.
The Winkle. I didn't look. I didn't even look too much.
He could have been flicking them like it was just sitting there like this. I don't really know. That could be flipped anyway through whatever, just making a headline.
Yeah, but I think his whole plan was to be able to have so much of the supply and so little the supply available. When the government does start to buy, they'd be buying from him. And there's a lot of OTC stuff, which pisses me off because you don't get to see when people are buying big amounts of cryptocurrency, it doesn't happen on exchange. Mm-hmm. So it's not like somebody market buys, price goes way up from all the buy pressure, right? And then, it's like, here's the cash and I'll just send you the transaction.
I happen to think, I don't know, I don't think what Michael Saylor is doing is cool. It's great. I do understand Bitcoin, so I like his stance on it and everything like that. Some parts of me, though, with some of these guys, I just feel like they're just, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of greed still at the same time.
My question for you, do you think Saylor is going to be the Mashinsky or SBF in this upcoming potential bear market? You think he's getting liquidated?
I don't.
Or do you think he's golden?
I think he's too smart. I don't think he's set himself up to where that could happen. I really don't know though, because that would be the most craziest way to go into a bear market, and that would be a great way to go into a bear market. I don't know how dramatic his sell-off would have to be anyways. How high would we go and how low would we go from somebody like him?
So I want to say is average buy is in the, I could be completely wrong, 60.
I feel like nobody knows because he keeps on dollar cost averaging in. So that means
it's raising his liquidation level.
It's raising his liquidation, but it's also lowering his average cost buy. So if he keeps on buying in general, that can keep on going past, 5K Bitcoin, you know what I mean, of what he's been purchasing. I don't really know. That would be insane. Or I think maybe a blockchain, possibly.
Another lesson from Richard Hart was there's 3 things that mess men up.
This is a great one.
Liquor, ladies, leverage. He's leveraged to the max.
And that would be the most epic. That would be pretty epic. And he was on Forbes. So and
this has happened to him before.
Yeah.
I think he lost a lot of money.
I know those are headlines for him and stuff like that. I would not, it'd be cool not to see that. When we kind of keep on going. He just
looks so stressed out.
I mean, bro, when you're doing all that, taking other people's money, it's just, and a lot of it too, to me though, either way, like I said, it's like greed. When you're telling everybody to buy it, I get it, but you are also in a much different space than average humans. So when he does that, it's just kind of and to not diversify is also kind of, I think, a ridiculous strategy, especially if you believe that this is going to be bigger. And, Bitcoin isn't necessarily set up to do specific things that just like XRP isn't necessarily able to do things with smart contracts. It's not meant for everything. It's meant for specific things.
I think it's funny because you and me have kind of, in the evolution, we've kind of flipped, right? I started out in the memes, and now I'm focused on the tech and utility. I feel like you started in the utility, and now you're I want to play in some meme coins.
No, that's precisely it.
What are your favorite meme coins?
My favorite meme coins. It depends on what chain we're talking about. Because I'll have a different wallet for each chain because I believe in, like I believe in ETH. So I got an ETH wallet. I believe in Sol. Got a Sol wallet. And then I'm really hyped up on XRP and XRP memes. And that's where I kind of think that is going to be, I think a huge wall of money is going to come into that world of XRP memes. That's my opinion. So when it comes to ETH, I don't know. Pepe still top dog. Small Sue on ETH, Nothing. I still like supporting Nothing. Nothing is a ERC 404, which is a new version of smart contracts, which is like fractionalizing NFTs. I just find that very interesting, and I think it's so early that a lot of people don't even really know the possibilities of it. But it's like you buying the meme and you're basically essentially holding the NFT at the same time, which is easier for transactions and stuff like that.
I think the biggest thing, so a lot of people don't know, but next week I go take my test for my real estate license. So I'm getting into real estate and, taking a title and putting the title to your house online, or having, as a developer, putting your whole portfolio, or an investment, real estate investors, putting your whole portfolio and allowing people to get a portion of that. So the fractionalized NFT, I think,
it's cool. And one project, I don't own any of this project, but I know Grant and Gary Cardone are, I'm pretty sure, big supporters of it. It's called Proppy, and it's on ETH, and it's where you can put your property on the blockchain. I don't really know 100% how it works, but it's kind of explaining like what you're talking about. You're putting your mortgage or whatever up on there. You're able to do the transaction of selling it through Proppy, which is pretty dope, So that's a good project to also look into.
I haven't heard about that one.
It's pretty cool. They got a Twitter and everything like that. And then, Sol, I don't really mess with a lot of memes on Sol. I'm not going to lie. Like I have a couple.
Sol is a dark place.
Sol is the easy way for people to get in, I feel like. I think that's why it's there. It's very simple, just, getting Phantom wallet. I don't know why it's more easy than doing like a ETH wallet, or even, I do know why, but it's easier than, getting into XRP memes as well, like not using a Telegram bot.
And ETH gas fees suck.
And then there's that.
Vitalik, come on, bro.
That's for like the more, wealthy degen. And then Solana is for the average degen. And then XRP is for the people that are, I don't know, the intelligent degen.
I got people reaching out to me lately. I want to buy some XRP. So people I never thought would ever get into crypto are finding out and wanting that.
I believe everybody hates on XRP. I consider it the same like route with Richard Hart and Hex to some extent. I think it's just hated because it's
not Bitcoin.
It's not Bitcoin, and it's
not Ethereum.
It's not Ethereum.
And the maxis are maxing.
It's a fact. And I just think it's going to do what people think it's not going to do. And that's what would be the beauty of the whole ripple effect of what they're doing. And then being able to buy meme coins in general, how I look at meme coins, like how you said, how I flip from utility, which I still believe in utility. I still like utility. I think it's awesome, and I see the use case 100%. But like meme coins, you said not to leverage. What I believe meme coins is giving you the access to leveraging without having to get, you could obviously get liquidated by the token just fully rugging, but you're able to leverage yourself on the chain that you believe is going to be successful. So if I think XRP is going to be successful and I'm buying, Army, I'm buying Scrappy, I'm buying Phoenix on XRP, I am believing that XRP is going to do well. So then this, wave will end up.
This will give you more XRP.
Yeah. So that's why I personally do it. And it's also, it's the furthest from getting in trouble. It's just a meme coin, It has no real offer of anything. So you don't have to expect anything more than just possibly picking the right one and getting more of the coin that you believe is going to be successful. So what about you? You don't really look into meme coins anymore, I feel like.
So meme coins made me a good amount of money in crypto. It's about preserving it at this point rather than doing too many bets for me. Back then, I slept, like I would wake up in the night, check my phone, I'd be checking Telegram messages 24. Like if in the meme world, in the trenches, like you literally have to have your guard up, the whole time. You got to be on it, right? Like
100%.
even a token Reef the other day, I found out like they're now their own blockchain. It's no longer going to be an ERC20 token. You got to do all these bridging. Like I don't want to have to follow like every Telegram message. And I still think Reef is really cool and I love it. But that pisses me off is when they fork or they do this. Like I've seen that go bad so many times.
Too many times. Yeah. You can whisper it one more time.
Bazoch. But you just see that change. And I don't know if they're trying to rebalance liquidity pools to take more money out of the project, which is ultimately my feel is like, hey, if we reband, we create another fork of the token, we could launch a different supply or not put all the money in and have access to more funds, right? Get everybody to send it in, lock it up.
Just do it right the first time.
Yeah. I mean, they always said they were going to become a blockchain. So I had the expectation they were. But in order to bridge, you need to get a new exchange. And I don't want to have, every, Binance, Crypto.com, OKX. I don't want to have to do all that. So
I have what I believe in. Like I look at Base and like that's the only one that like out of other chains that I don't have anything of, where I look at Base and I'm like, I would like to, dabble in there because I think, Base being Coinbase's blockchain, also being built on ETH, so it still just gives me even more confident with ETH. But I look at that and go, that's probably somewhere where I should kind of, travel to. But I haven't caught
especially with
there.
like the low gas fees, I remember with Ethereum, you would be paying a couple $100 gas fee. It's like 60% of the transaction trying to get these some tokens. Now, back in 2021, you could drop, an ETH and in a matter of minutes on a new coin would become 10 ETH. It was crazy. In the bear market, you can't do that. Right? Like it's not happening the same way unless you're in those inner circles, right? It becomes more about, the preservation thing, which is, again, I love the whole XRP, Ethereum, Chainlink, Ondo, World of Finance, Injective. Injective just announced that they got NVIDIA stock on the blockchain or some form of it.
I did not.
Again, I saw it. I didn't look into it, so I don't want to say too much and say anything stupid or wrong. But their goal now, it seems like they're trying to bring the stock market onto the blockchain. So anything that's going to digitize and, bring the blockchain, like I work in the elections, I'd love to see some type of way to put the voting system onto a blockchain.
Full transparency.
So, you could track it. So anything that can improve or increase transparency within things we're already doing, especially like if the IRS and all these government agencies can nickel and dime us citizens, we should be, for where our spending our money. Let's say you put something, a digit wrong on your tax return, right? And they come back and say, no, you owe us this. We should be able to go back to them and do the same thing, which is why I love, the Department of Government efficiency stuff. I think that's really cool. And I think he mentioned something about getting some of that stuff on the blockchain at some point.
If that isn't, writing on the wall with him calling it Doge. He's literally, how I look at
he's
it.
Such a troll.
Bro,
he's the king troll.
How I look at it is he's just shilling Doge. Like it's like the major, like it's probably the biggest shill I've ever seen in my life. And so I think that's another one where I think Dogecoin is going to do very crazy numbers. And then you said with the tokenization and everything like that, like I just saw NASDAQ trying to, pull a crypto move saying that they're trying to, be open 24/7. So everything is going towards that way. They want to tokenize. That's why you see all these artists tokenizing themselves, even though a lot of them I don't think are doing it, the right way and not doing it. where they're actually trying to help their, community.
Their brand. They're hurting their brand. They're just trying to exit scam.
Well, I just think they're just doing I just think they're doing it just to take some money and have money in their name where there's no, it doesn't even have to have utility, but they're not doing it right. They're not doing it like for the community. They're getting in first. They're having a dev, hold a wallet, having whoever else have them do it. They're not doing it properly. It's not for your community. It's for you, which is totally the opposite of why a meme coin community is built.
And if you're an artist and you're watching this, be careful who you work with because they're not there to help you. They're there to help themselves. You see it so many times where it's like a rogue dev, right? Shut something down.
I just don't believe that really. Like sometimes I feel like some of these people got to know what they're doing, I've seen too many of them. I sat there late up at night watching how things work and then seeing percentages of wallets and then just going, wow, man, this was just literally just to mess up their whole, fan base. And then their fan base still supports it or whatever, but the best way to do it is to, one, you not be the biggest holder, I would assume, you not to take up most of the supply.
Fair launch it and buy it just like everybody else if you believe in it.
And that's
get skin in the game.
That's fair, but you can't make any of them do anything special. Like Nick Cannon just came out with one too. You had not El Salvador. What country was it?
Argentina,
and that was insane. That was crazy. And that put a bad name on whatever in crypto in general. I don't even know how that happens.
Vape Cabal, where you at these days? You guys are awfully quiet.
Oh, man.
You know what you did.
If that's what they were too. I don't know if what Dave Portnoy was saying is 100% accurate either. But that dude holding the 400 mil or whatever, I wouldn't even, if a government came to me, hey, how do you do this or whatever, I wouldn't even want to be close to them. Like, go ahead, you guys figure it out yourself. That's way too sketchy.
Here's a link.
Yeah.
Read it.
Here's a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, ChatGPT or something. But I don't know. That's why, throwing that in there, that's why I CTO'd a token recently. Shitcoin Brian, Dookie coin. Dookie. Took it from the Bad Luck Brian meme, and it's been pretty cool. I've been trying to kind of follow the Shiba route on how they did it and stuff like that. I don't hold all the supply or anything like that. I try to just do it through TikTok Live, getting people to jump in, getting excited about it, wanting them to be fully a part of it in the community. And I've been having fun with it in general, telling them I'm not selling, I'm trying to hold. I want everybody else to, do that as well, so then we can possibly become a big token, and then I don't know, down the road do something cool with it possibly. But it's been fun doing that as well.
It's all about the story, man. What's next? What's gonna happen, right? Every good movie, right?
Well, we've already had little sequences with Twitter getting shut down. The first night I did it, I was on live. I got I did it through Pump Fund. I got it up to 95%. I'm on live. People are freaking out, typing in the chat or whatever. And this is the first time everybody's seeing me CTO a token. And next thing I know, TikTok Live bans me, kicks me off. I just see the price freaking, tank. And I'm just like, damn, because I really wanted to build trust with everybody. I don't want to be, the bad,
the bad dev.
Yeah, I don't want to be that person. And I want people to make a lot of money doing this. So then I jumped on TikTok making videos yo, I didn't rug pull this and that. Came back on the next night. I think it took us 2 or 3 days after that. And then we got it bond curved. And then, to hit 170K market cap off of doing it off of TikTok Live, I was pretty impressed. And just the fact that people are now they're all in. They're all hyped to keep on going. So I'm
Memes, cults, religions.
Yeah, I'm not selling it or nothing like that. I'm having fun with it. I want to keep on pushing it. I already have my other stuff, where I think I'm going to be set in the future. So this is just for I don't know, for fun and trying to
education. Yeah,
to do something cool, and be a part of the Web3 crypto world, and maybe do something where a lot of people can say just like Shiba, I don't know, change their lives or something like that.
So bringing back to Shiba, who's Ryoshi, bro?
Who's Ryoshi? Why? Like I said, I think it could be you with the name similarities, but
we are all Ryoshi.
We are all Ryoshi, and this is a fact. So that's what happens. We're all Ryoshi, bro. That's all I can come up with. Then I'd like to have Russ on because I think Russ, obviously, he's not gonna whatever he knows, but it would be cool to also have him kind of break down his story and how he kind of got into Shiba as well. And then always with the lore with that is Vitalik.
There was one article, and it just like a picture of like Vitalik in the early Ethereum days where they were like meeting in a park talking about it. And it was like just that one article.
Well, he was wearing the pants
research.
too, the Shiba pants.
Yeah, he wore the Shiba pants.
Pajamas, which I thought was crazy. Like the little story of like Elon Musk. And then I could always tie it back though. My memories like always like, I could remember seeing Russ sitting with people from Tesla or something like that, like which I would connect to Elon to some extent. And then how Elon, we know he holds Doge, and then trying to tie in the fact that like
I thought he was Ryoshi. When they were like, "Oh, Ryoshi," if they were like, "Oh, if you're Shaitoshi," if you heard me talk, you know who I am, California, right? I was like, it's got to be Elon.
Yeah,
that was my first guess.
And always how he says like he holds no supply of that, which but he still answers that question. And then like again, always going back to the Vitalik thing because he went above and beyond to getting those tokens. He went above and beyond to donating them and like still, marketing it in some type of way. So he created ETH. Was Shiba like, the better child that he built, you know what I mean? Or something like that. Who knows? But those are like the little stories and little hints that I've always got through, meeting you and in the print shop and seeing everything unfold. So I still like the lore a lot about it, But I don't know if you want to wrap it up, if there's any other things that you want to talk about.
Oh, man. Wild ride out there. Be safe. Double check your contract addresses. If you're new and somebody's helping you, make sure you trust them. But, this is for a chance for everybody getting into crypto. If you're new, to basically take your own, you got to take your own risk. You have to take control of your money. You have to take control of your security. Watch your links. Watch your contract addresses. Get yourself a cold wallet. Be careful out there.
Yeah.
Careful out there and enjoy the ride.
Also, tell them your Instagram handles and everything like that. So like, if they want to come to you for your detailing and, stuff like that.
Yeah. So you can find me on X as SirSwifty59 on YouTube as well. I have some old, I did some videos with some crypto gaming projects, doing some beta testing. That was really fun. So you can find me on X there. If you make a lot of money in crypto and you want to get your Lambo wrapped, Swift Detail CT, you can find me there on Instagram, and that's it.
Let's go. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being my first, part of my first podcast. My name's Ryan St. George, Crypto Bread, DJ Rye Bread, and I appreciate you guys checking out the Bread Aisle. So see you till next time.